When I started playing guitar, I kind of discovered Steve Vai as a player, and he really inspired me. Then his album Passion and Warfare came out, and that's when I got introduced to the 7-string guitar. And I was like, wow. But it didn't touch on like the low rhythmic stuff that I wanted to hear out of the instrument. And so that's when I knew I had to have a 7-string guitar to kind of explore that and kind of satisfy my creative needs, playing really low rhythmic parts and writing music with the 7-string guitar. So I guess it was about 1990, 1991.
What led me to play a 7-string guitar was James Monkey Schaefer. He found this new obscure guitar that not a whole lot of people knew about. So he saved up all this money for it and would go and play it every few days at the guitar store until he could make the final payment. And when I joined the band, he let me play his backup. And then once we got the 2 7-strings blaring and just jam a few songs, he was like, oh my gosh, this is huge. This is powerful. And he felt the power.
That's where we started writing the first Korn songs. That came from the 7-string guitar. That's kind of what shaped the Korn sound.
I mean, metal is already mean sounding, and so to hear the 7-string and how low it was, it's just like even more mean. So the meaner the better, I think, and so it just opened up all these opportunities, and it's mind-blowing to think back that all these years later that it's been so influential for so many guitar players.
Probably been using Dunlop strings for about 10 years. Dunlop was the brand that I sort of gravitated towards.
I've been playing Dunlop strings for so many years that I can't even count. They're awesome. Korn has always been about feel, and that's the way I approach my picks and my strings and everything that I do musically. It just has to feel right. Right now we're using heavy core Korn guitar strings, 10 gauge, and with the high string 10 and the low 65, that's what I use.
We try to get a string that sounds almost piano-like when you're in a clean sound, and something that has clarity at high gain and high volume when you're in the low range.
I love them, and it's honestly like the feel, the tension, the tone is very important, but the growl, because with the low 7-string, it can't be muddy. So the strings have to be amazing to cut through for recording and live.
Something that's just reliable, I think, is really important. Something that's consistent, especially since we're on tour. We're changing strings every day. In the studio, we're changing strings every day. We're in front of a lot of people every night. So, like, there was a quality that Dunlop has in their strings, and they've always been willing to try new stuff with us.
The best thing about Dunlop is just their faithfulness and quick to give us attention and what we need, and just professionalism. So thank you, Dunlop.